You know, don't play this game. I screw your mother standing up her ass in a dirty toilet. If you ask for something provocatively, be ready to get it. I always tell this to my gay friends and they are suspicious.
Slavoj Zizek on why we're building the Matrix. I don't think the Matrix is a masterpiece. I've already written more about that movie than I should, probably. And I believe Žižek doesn't think it's a masterpiece either. But he sure hasn't written too much about the Matrix. I was reading a revised version of Žižek's Enjoy Your Symptom, 1992, the other day, and I came across this very illuminating discussion, which I believe perfectly illustrates Žižek's oft-repeated contention that if there is a point in psychoanalysis, it is that people do not want or desire happiness. Žižek first refers to this well-known dialogue in which Morpheus provides a highfalutin description of how and why the Matrix came to exist.
But you feel it. You felt it your entire life. There's something wrong in the world. You don't know what it is, but it's there. Like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room, it is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth.
What is the truth?
That you are a slave, Neo.
Oh my God.
Like everyone else, you were born into bondage. Born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch.
Oh my God.
A prison for your mind.
Okay.
Žižek contrasts this conversation with the moment towards the end of the film in which Smith, the agent of the Matrix, gives a different, much more Freudian explanation.
Did you know that the first Matrix was designed to be a perfect human world where none suffered, where everyone would be happy? It was a disaster. No one would accept the program. Entire crops were lost. Some believed that we lacked the programming language to describe your perfect world, but
what?
I believe that as a species, human beings define their reality through misery and suffering.
Oh my God.
Perfect world was a dream that your primitive cerebrum kept trying to wake up from. Which is why the Matrix was redesigned to this, the peak of your civilization.
Skynet. What this shows, Žižek goes on to explain, is the imperfection of our world is thus at the same time the sign of its virtuality and the sign of its reality. One could effectively claim that the agent Smith, let us not forget, not a human being as other, but the direct virtual embodiment of the Matrix, the big other itself, is the stand-in for the figure of the analyst within the universe of the film. His lesson is that the experience of an insurmountable obstacle is the positive condition for us, as humans, to perceive something as reality. Reality is ultimately that which resists. In a way, this is Žižek's way of repeating the old witticism. Reality is what remains there after you stop believing in it, one of his favorite underlying messages. But the way Smith puts it, and Žižek underlines, brings these verses to mind.
Goethe, the writer, Faust, and so on.
The Lord is speaking to Mephistopheles in Goethe's prologue in Heaven. I have never hated your ilk. Of all the spirits who deny, I find the scamp the least tedious. Man's endeavor tends all too easily towards slumber. What he wishes for first of all is unconditional rest. Therefore, I am wont to assign him a companion who provokes and must act and appear as a devil. Interestingly, Žižek ties his Matrix discussion in Enjoy Your Symptom with the subject matter of the novel I published a couple of years ago, The Unresolved Murder of Geli, Adolf Hitler's niece, in 1931. Perhaps it is along these lines that one can also explain the obsession of Adolf Hitler's biographers with his relationship to his niece Geli Raubel, who was found dead in Hitler's Munich apartment in 1931, as if Hitler's alleged sexual perversion will provide the hidden variable, the intimate missing link, the phantasmatic support that would account for his public personality. Here is this scenario as reported by Otto Strasser. Hitler made her undress while he would lie down on the floor. Then she would have to squat down over his face where he would examine her at close range, and this made him very excited. When the excitement reached its peak, he demanded that she urinate on him, and that gave him his pleasure. Crucial is here the utter passivity of Hitler's role in this scenario as the phantasmatic support that pushed him into his frenetically destructive public political activity. No wonder Geli was desperate and disgusted at these rituals. Therein resides the correct insight of the Matrix, in its juxtaposition of the two aspects of perversion. On the one hand, reduction of reality to a virtual domain regulated by arbitrary rules that can be suspended, and on the other, the concealed truth of this freedom, the reduction of the subject to an utter instrumentalized passivity. In other words, the Matrix gets it right, but in a wrong, inverted way. That is, we just have to turn around the terms in order to get at the true state of things. What the film renders as the scene of our awakening into our true situation is effectively its exact opposite, the very fundamental fantasy that sustains our being. We are not dreaming in VR that we are free agents in our everyday common reality, while we are actually passive prisoners in the prenatal fluid exploited by the Matrix. It is rather that our reality is that of the free agents in the social world we know. But in order to sustain this situation, we have to supplement it with the disavowed, terrible, impending fantasy of being passive prisoners in the prenatal fluid exploited by the Matrix. The mystery of the human condition, of course, is why the subject needs this obscene phantasmatic support of his existence.
And so on and so on, you know, and so on and so on. And so on and so on, and so on and so on.